That I could only imagine, the feeling, if there was embarrassment, if there was anger, if there was frustration. And all of that is valid, because if there's anyone that can, if someone find me, anyone who thought that he would fall all the way to the 5th round. We can't get caught up in our emotions, our feelings, and our own understanding. And that's why I'm bringing this video to you today. Shedeur Sanders, son of Deion Sanders, was projected to go top 5 in this year's NFL draft, but it didn't happen that way. He fell all the way to the 5th round. And I'm not going to lie, as a human being, as a fan of his, it left me frustrated, and if I was frustrated, and I think millions of others of his fans were frustrated as well, I can only imagine what he was feeling, what his father was feeling, and his family members were feeling as he saw his name just continue to be left off of that draft board. So why am I talking about this? Why am I discussing this? Because in everything in life, there's a lesson. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not on your own understanding, and always acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. Something that Shedeur said stood out to me last night is when he mentioned God makes no mistakes. And if that young man truly feels that in his heart, no matter what's said about him, no matter what the media or this following week or this following year, where they try to come back and say, hey, it was his attitude, whatever, none of that matters now. He's drafted, he's a Brown now, and he has to trust in the process that God put before him. See, we have our own desires, we have our wants, and there's time we go to God in fervent prayer, pleading with God to make things happen in our life. And you have to be careful of that, because it doesn't mean that God's not going to do it. It just means that he's not going to do the way that we intend. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 9, a man's heart deviseth the way, but the Lord directeth the steps. We have our heart's desires. There's things that we strive for. There's goals that we're trying to obtain. And it's not to say that God's not going to do it. He just doesn't do it the way that we think. God confounds the wise. Because there's a purpose. There's a promise that's going to come from the pain that Shedeur experienced this weekend. Like I said, I could only imagine, the feeling, if there was embarrassment, if there was anger, if there was frustration. And all of that is valid, because if there's anyone that can, if someone find me, anyone who thought that he would fall all the way to the 5th round, regardless of what you may think about his attitude, his talent and the tape shows otherwise. And the stats, the numbers he puts up shows otherwise. And I don't want to get into that because I'm not here to debate that. I just want to say we can't rely on our own understanding. God has a specific plan for Shedeur's life. And like Shedeur said, God makes no mistakes. And if he truly believes that, and I pray you do, young man, I pray that you truly understand that and you truly believe that in your heart, because it doesn't matter what anyone thinks. If you know that God makes no mistakes, you know that he intended for your draft weekend to happen like this. There's times where God delays things in our life because he's developing something within us, something that he knows that we're not ready yet. Or there are times where God, he makes the way difficult. He provides us with trials and tribulations because he wants us to rely. He wants us to trust in him. Whatever reason it is, God knows, and in due season, in due time, he's going to reveal it to Shedeur. It's just on him to hold on to the promise, to hold on to the dream, to keep fighting for everything that he feels is his and that God has promised to him. It don't matter how we start. It matters how we finish. And sometimes God takes us a different way because he knows exactly what we need and how we need it to obtain and to make it way more successful than we ever imagined. I'm pretty sure, like I said, I could be wrong, but I know years from now, we're going to be looking back at this moment and we're all going to be like, wow, look what God did. And that's important too, Shedeur. Not trying to talk at you, but please, I pray you, give him the glory. And I know you already do. But when God takes you to those heights and he elevates you, into a different stratosphere, because you were obedient to what he said, remember to give him that glory, just like your Father does. Don't forget that. Everyone that doubted you, everyone that thinks that they had some role in why this happened, it ain't got nothing to do with them. God made it this way for you because he knew for whatever reason you needed it to go this way. It's special, it's unique to you. Your story and how in our road, in our path to different walks in life, it's all different. Because God is developing something in us, he has something special for all of us. And he does it the way that he wants to, not the way that we think. And I think we all can learn a valuable lesson from this. It's not that we're not going to obtain or reach whatever the destination that God has for us. We just have to trust in him that when he does it his way, it's the best way. I love y'all. Have an incredible weekend. I hope this encourages you. I hope this encourages all of y'all. I hope this encourages Shedeur and the Sanders family. Keep your heads up. Keep marching forward. Trust God. He's got us.